Hello everybody and welcome to this video on question 1 on paper 1 of the AQA GCSE English language exam. Now this is the first question on paper 1 and it's the easiest on paper 1 I think, and it will ask you to choose 4 answers from a piece of text that you'll be given to read. And the assessment objective that it's testing is for you to identify the information within the text and interpret that information and be able to select relevant information that answers the question that you've been given. So like I say, it is the easiest question on the paper, but it is easy to also trip up. So make sure that you follow these rules. Okay, so 1 mark is given for each correct answer, and this question is worth 4 marks on paper 1. Now responses must be true and drawn only from the lines specified. Now what that means is, in the question you will be told to look at certain lines within the extract that you've been given, the source, okay? So if it says draw your answers from lines 1 to 20, you must take your answers from those lines. If you provide an answer which is correct but outside of the lines that are specified, then the examiner cannot credit you with a mark. Okay, now you can quote or paraphrase for this question. And it says in the mark scheme that a paraphrased response covering more than 1 point should be credited for each point made. So if you do actually write an answer down and it covers 2 points that they can credit you for, then they will give you those marks. Okay, and it says here as well, responses that copy the whole section of the text should not be credited. Well, that's obvious really, isn't it? Because they want to make sure that you've understood what the question is asking you to do and for you to be able to pull out the relevant information with regards to that question. So if you literally copy the whole text down, then you're not answering the question. Now, when it says paraphrasing, all that means is rewording of something that's written. So if you take the words from the text that you've been given and you write them down exactly as they are written in the text, then you need to quote. So you need to use quotation marks. If you are rewording those written words in your own words, then that's what we call paraphrasing. So you're writing it in your own words, and that's okay too. So the lowdown on question 1 is that you must select 4 answers from the text. You can paraphrase or quote, and make sure that you take your answers from the lines specified in the question. It's worth 4 marks, this question, and I would spend about 4 to 5 minutes. It might not take you that long, and hopefully it won't, because then you can add some extra time onto the other questions in the paper. So I have this source here, and it's an extract from War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. It's a 19th century text. Now, the exam board have said that they are unlikely to provide you with a 19th century text for paper 1. It's more likely to be a 20th or 21st century. But I figure if you are given a 19th century text to practice with, then you are going to get into the hang of analysing language that perhaps is less familiar to you. So I've got this extract, and it's available on my website aceyourexams.wordpress.com, and you can download this, have a read through. And then the question that goes with this for question 1 is read again the first part of the source from lines 1 to 18, okay? So that's just that top bit there, okay, right in front of you. So if you don't want to download it, you can just pause the video and read that top bit through now. Okay, so it's lines 1 to 18 that you need to look at. And it says list 4 things from this part of the text about the people's reactions to the thing. Okay, so it's about people's reactions. So you need to find 4 things, and you can either quote or paraphrase, and this is worth 4 marks. So if you want to pause the video, I'm just going to provide some of the answers that you could have. Okay, so some of the answers that you can have this question are that the people panicked, the people were tightly packed together, the people felt terrified, the people were shouting, the shopman struggled to stay on his feet, the people ran away from the danger, The main character was horrified. The main character was petrified. The main character could not move away from the danger. Now you'll notice that most of those answers there are actually paraphrased, so I've written them in my own words. And where I've taken a word from the text, I've quoted it, so I've put quotation marks around it. Now they are some of the answers that you could have, and in the exam you may find some answers that are not actually specified on the mark scheme. Now the examiner, the person that is marking your paper, will be told to credit any answers that are relevant and valid. Okay, so if your answer that you provided is not actually in the mark scheme, but it is correct, you will be credited for that mark. So if you've got anything that's different from this list in front of you, but it is the truth and it is right and it is correct, then you can credit yourself with a mark for that. Okay, so that was a very quick run through of question 1 on paper 1 of the AQA GCSE English language exam. In my channel, you'll find other videos for paper 1 and paper 2 of this exam. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and stay updated with the videos. All of the free downloads and full mark sample answers can be found on my website, aceyourexams.wordpress.com. And if you've got any questions, please feel free to leave a comment or follow me on Twitter at aceyourexams. Thanks for listening.